Hi all, and welcome to the GSoC 19 OpenMRS midterm presentation. My name is Rishabh, and we have been working on the patient flags module Open Web App. First of all, I've had the opportunity to work with two great mentors, Maimuna Kausar, who is the primary mentor, and Jude Niroshan as a backup mentor. They have been of great help. Our project is essentially an UI for the patient flags module. So the patient flag module allows us to see critical patient matrices directly in the patient header or the patient overview. And this is directly viewable by a end user health caregiver. So for example, if the patient is diabetic or has a CD count over 200, then the health caregiver can directly see that in the patient header. Our main task is to replace the existing JSP-based UI solution with a React-based open web app. And finally, we aim to deploy the REST API along with the Open Web App in the next release. If we just break down our work structurally, we have two principal components. The first is the REST API modifications, and the second is the Open Web App itself. So in the REST API modifications, we could not use the existing solution as it is out of the box. So we needed to modify the resource code written in Java so that we can fetch the suitable JSON data necessary by an API call. So we want to fetch the exact data that we need to be displayed in the front end. So that is why we had to modify the existing REST API. Alongside that, in the OWA, we have split that into two key components. One is the core functionality, and the other is the UI enhancements. So for core functionality, we basically include building the core components, essentially the flags, tags, priorities management, and search. So what these things exactly mean and their nuances, we'll come to that in the demo. And under the UI enhancements, we want to incorporate the OpenMRS React components, which is the latest standard, as well as the style guide from the reference application. So what have we been doing till now? Essentially, we have been following the agile methodology for our project management, and we are Scrum. So till now, we have had 4 completed sprints, and we have 3 more quick sprints planned in the next upcoming month. And then hopefully we'll be heading towards a release. So in the completed sprints, a basic overview of what we have completed is endpoint testing, modifications to the resource code, building up the tags, flags, and priority components and their models, and UI enhancements as well. So the latest build has been released as of sprint number 4, and that was about 3 days ago. So now we'll just quickly head off to the demo in our browser. So as you can see, we have the application opened up in our browser already. And so this has all the tabs. So you have the Manage Flags tab, the Manage Tags, Priorities, Patients, Manage Global Properties, etc. Now, before diving into how these tabs look, we really need to understand what a flag, tag, or a priority is. So if we just head back to our PPT, so flag is essential and is the end entity that is shown up in the patient header or the patient overview. So the flag is essentially contains the type of adverse event the patient might be suffering through. So for example, if the patient has a CD count greater than 100, so that would show up in flags. But flags is not just a standalone entity, it is also associated with two other entities. The first is priority. Now, what priority does is it prioritizes the flag. So a priority can be high, low, or medium, or anything else we can configure it to be. And with each priority, there's a associated rank. So it can be rank 1, 2, 3, 4, up to 100. And subsequently, a primary priority also has a primary indicator. For this, we are using color coding just to enhance the visibility of the priority. So as you can see from here, a priority has a one-to-one relationship with a flag, so a single flag can only have one priority. The second thing is tags. Now, tags are essentially um, a group of tag sets which helps us identify a particular flag. Tags also determine where this flag is shown, whether it's shown in the patient header or the patient dashboard, and who and the user groups who have the privilege to view this flag, the doctor, the nurse, the system admin, etc. So as you can see, for a particular flag, it's a one-to-many relationship. So a particular flag can have multiple tags associated with it, hence the term tag set. Jumping back to our demo, for today's demo, we are essentially gonna create a priority, and we are going to create two tags to form the tag set, and then we are gonna associate those two with a new flag that we create. Now, one thing you'll notice is that our tables are already populated, and the reason why is so that I can actually show you how they load, and also to explain some features of this table in particular. So we are using not the standard table, but we are using something known as React table. So that is an npm package, and React table comes with a lot of benefits. So for example, you can choose how many number of rows you want to see. So for here, for example, here it's 5, but I can easily expand that to 50. So you can see all the list of priorities that we have, or I can have it 20. You can choose how many rows you want there to be visible, and you can also toggle through each page of rows. And then you can also sort the data very easily. So for example, if I want to sort this data by rank, so I'll just click on rank, and now you can see that 300. So now 300, that is the lowest rank, has been pushed up to the top, and then you have 109, 100, etc. So we can also sort by name, by rank, and so this adds a lot of additional functionality right out of the box over a traditional table. So now what we are going to do is we are going to add we are going to go to the add priority. So this opens up our model, and we are gonna add a few priorities. So we are gonna name our priority. So we want that to be so we are testing for CD200. So CD200 priority. So we want that CD200 pri. For example, that is the name. Usually you would be naming it as high, low, or medium, but that's completely up to you and up to the system admin what they want to do. So we'll just rank it as 1. So, and then we will go and select the associated style. So previously in the JSP version, the administrator himself or herself had to write down the style. So they would go to a text box and write something similar to as style is equal to color red or something similar. But over here, we have given this nifty color picker in which you can just directly go and select any color that you want, and you render a save. You see this alert box being generated, and there you go. So now if we just go to a table, and we had named that CD200 Pri, so you can see that here, and it has been generated, and you can see that associated color with that. So we had selected purple, and you have the rank, and also you have the options to either edit or delete the particular priority. So now we are gonna we don't want the purple color. We are gonna quickly go edit the color and choose something like red. Again, we're gonna hit save, and now you can see that the color associated with the priority has changed to red. Cool. So now we have a priority ready. We are now going to create tags. So for this, we are going to create two tags. And you can see this again on the tags table. And again, you can sort the tags by name. So alphabetically, you can sort that. So we want two tags. So we'll just go to add tag. And you can see two boxes right here. The first is visible to, and that is a multi-select list. and the second is a shown in, and that is also a multi-select list. So visible to is essentially a list of user groups who have the privilege to see your particular flag that you're going to be associating this tag with. And then shown in is essentially where this particular tag would be, sorry, a particular flag would be shown. So whether you want the flag to be shown in the patient header or you want it to be shown in the patient dashboard overview, that is your call. So we are going to create a tag. So let's just have an intuitive name. So we'll have demo tag A, right? Seems pretty classy. And what we want is that we want this to be shown just to the doctor and the nurse and maybe the hospital administrator, because these people are important. And then I want them to show it, then I want it to show in the patient dashboard header as well as the overview. Great. So we're going to save this. Awesome. So we have created demo tag A, as you can see there, right? Um, so yeah, we would also want to create another demo tag. So intuitively, we're going to name this demo tag B, surprise, surprise. And we want this to be shown to the system developer only, for example, and no one else. And the system developer can see it in the patient overview. Yeah, for example, we're going to save that. Brilliant. So, for example, I have changed my mind right now and I don't want demo tag A to be shown in the patient dashboard overview. So I'll just click the edit button and I'll just click whichever I want. So I just want it to be shown in the header, not the overview. I'll do a save and now this data will get updated. So if I just go over here, now you can see uh, overview is no longer selected. It's just the patient header. So now we have created our associated tags, we have created our priorities. Now we want to link them all together to our flag. So we'll quickly hop over to the manage flags, right? And so we are in the manage flags tab. And so we'll just, as you can see, the manage flags tab has a table. And the table name is you have the name column. You have the associated tags with the particular flag. So the name is essentially what is shown to the end user, for example, CD greater than 200. You have the associated tag sets. So for example, tag 01 test flag has a tag set demo 02. ABC is related to tags 50 and tag test 0. You have a priority, so the associated priority gets shown here. And then you have the status. So the status can be enabled, or we can choose to disable a particular flag if you don't want it to show up on the patient header or the overview. And then we have the standard actions of edit and remove. So we'll just quickly go ahead and create a new flag. So this is the edit flag model, and so we're going to name our flag. So let's name it CD greater than 200, right? Then each flag can also have a type. So the type is essentially the logic by which the flag will be defined. So this can either be a Groovy logic, an SQL logic, or you can write your custom logic as well. What do I exactly mean by the logic is essentially how we pull up the patients who are associated with this particular flag. So for example, we select SQL flag, right? And I say that, and I have something written out over here for convenience sake. So I say that from a table called encounter, we create an alias E, and what we want is we want to retrieve the patient ID for all instances where the CD count is greater than 200, right? So I think that justifies a flag cause. And then we would want to add a message. So select patient flags, patient, sorry, patient has CD greater than 200, and the tag and the priority, and we want it to be enabled, and we'll just run a quick save. Mm, I think we might need to modify this. How about CD over 200? How about that? And so we'll just create a quick flag. And what we want to do is we want to name our flag, suppose CD uh, greater than 200, and it's an SQL flag. And so this is the type. So the type associated essentially decides what sort of logic by which we filter out the patients. So it can be a groovy logic, an SQL logic, or a custom logic. For in this case, we want that to be a SQL logic. So we will just do this. So from a table known as encounter, we create an alias E. With this alias, we pull up patient IDs where the CD count is over 200, right? And we'll just write a message cd count over 200, right? And to associate this, we will just add a tag, and we will associate that with a priority, right? And we want this to be enabled, so we'll click save, right? Okay, great. So okay, so yeah, this is a known issue. It's not generating the tag set, so we'll just do a quick refresh of the page, right? So you can see that the CD greater than 200 has been registered here, and we can actually see the tag set, we can see the priority, we can see enabled, and we can see the edit and delete buttons. And I just noticed one thing is that these are not the tags or the priorities that we wanted to attach to this particular flag. What we wanted to attach is something different, right? Something we defined just right now. So uh, I'll just quickly go ahead and want to edit this. I go down here, and what I want is demo tag A and demo tag B, correct? Those are my associated tags. And for priority, I want CD200 pri. So that's my associated priority. Great. So now we can update this. Awesome. So we have successfully updated that. And so as you could see, I had to refresh the page, and this is because there are a few state management issues we still need to solve. But essentially, you can see that our flag has been created. You have the demo tag A, B, that's our tag sets, and you have the associated priority over there. And we know that this flag is enabled. Cool. So moving on, we can actually judge a few things that we are going to target in the next 1 month. So in the upcoming weeks, as defined before, we have our sprint 5, 6, and 7. And the activities that we want to target is, of course, number one, we want to refine our state management. We don't want the app to be crashing like it did. Um, so we want to refine our state management to be absolutely perfect. We want to obviously build the remaining two components. So if you just go to the application, you can see that find flag patients and manage global flag properties. These are the two coming soon. And but these are fairly lightweight components, so we don't expect much time to be spent right there. We also want to finalize the REST API. So we have made some changes to the REST API. We just want to have a discussion over that and want to finalize all our changes. We want to generate alerts and basically create a global error handling mechanism. Currently, if there is an error, alerts are generated, but only on the console. So obviously we want the end user to see certain alerts as well. So we want that, and we want that error handling mechanism. Again, not something that's very heavy. Spinners when loading data into tables, that would look good. Uh, Passing user and localization data. This is essentially to show two things. If you just look at the app here, we obviously we obviously want the user data to come here, the data to come here, and obviously we want the navigation to be present right here. So these three things aren't there, and we'll be working on that. Finally, we want to refactor and do a code cleanup. We want to reconfigure the build tool so that uh, we can have the mod file, the module, OMod and your OWA packaged into the single module. So we want to reconfigure the build tool in order to enable us to achieve that. We want to complete any sort of a pending or doable extra mass tasks. So this includes integration of glyphicons mainly. Um, because one of the extra mass tasks which we had extra mass tasks that we had is the style swatch that I just showed you, in which you just select the color indicator via color picker. So that has been completed. So additionally, we also want there to be icons associated to a particular priority, and we might end up doing that, and we might yeah, so that is there. We want to do some more testing. So essentially, we want to do uh, a lot of functional testing and UAT testing. Not much of user unit testing. We have not done the unit testing for this. We want to do a functional and UAT testing. And finally, in parallel, we also want to update the documentation that we have. So with all these, keeping all these in mind, um, and the GSoC timeline, and even beyond that, we want uh, the OWA to be a part of target release 3.2.0. That is the next upcoming release of the patient flag module. And that's about it, guys. Thank you so much for entertaining me, and special thanks to the OpenMRS community for giving this great platform. It has been a wonderful experience, and I hope to continue with the community even after GSoC. Project resources have been provided in the description box and the thread as well. Thank you so much. Bye bye.